In this short video, I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do with Audacity software. Now, I downloaded this for free to my computer, and when you open it up, this is what you see. And the first thing I'm going to do is record a tone that I'm getting from my phone. So I have an app, again, another free download on my phone. It was just called Tone Generator. And I'm about to play a single note. And the frequency, it says, is 601.5 hertz, but it's a rather rough scale. All I have is a slider down the side, so I'm not sure what the exact frequency is. So I'm going to turn this on. It'll sound a bit annoying. Now that that's playing, I'm going to get my cursor and go to that red circle that you can see. That's the record button. And I'll stop it there. So now I'm going to select a region because I really can't see much trace at the moment, but I'm going to select a region, and then I go to this little sort of looks, I suppose, like a magnifying glass. That's the zoom in. I'm going to press it quite a few times, and eventually I get something that looks slightly like a sine wave. And now I go to this 0.0 that's to the left of the axis, and I click on that a few times, and each time it increases the scale. So now we're seeing a sine wave. And I might actually just zoom out a fraction. So there are a couple of things I can do with this. The first thing I'm going to do is measure the time for 10 cycles of this sound. So I'm going to get 10 times the period. So I'm going to go from the top of this one, and I drag the cursor along. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that gives me 10 periods. And I can see that that took me from 5.031 seconds is the end of it. 5.015 seconds is the beginning of it. So I'm now going to use that to calculate the time. Okay, now due to the magic of editing, I can tell you right now that the 10 period interval was 0.016 seconds, and that means t equals 0.0016 seconds. And then when I take 1 over, I get that the frequency of that wave is 625 hertz. But the other thing I can do to get the frequency as well, I go up the top here to the Analyze button, and then I go Plot Spectrum. Now, I may not have selected enough of it. No, I haven't selected enough data. So if you get this, what you have to do is just zoom back out a little bit and take a bigger selection of it. So now I'm going to go all this way, and I will analyze again. And now it tells me I can move the cursor back and forth, and it tells me that the peak is in fact 613 hertz. So you can see they're not in perfect agreement, but obviously my measurement of 10t could be more accurate. If I measured more cycles, then I could probably come up with a more accurate value for that, but they're in pretty good agreement. Now the next thing I'm going to do is set my phone to a slightly different frequency. It's now saying 598 hertz. Again, not sure exactly how accurate this will be, but I'm going to start recording. When I turn that one off, I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to get the section where it overlaps here, and again I'm going to zoom in. It's zooming both at the same time, and I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger, Okay, so we've got two sine waves. They should be slightly different frequencies. What I'm going to do now is select both. So I hold the shift down and I select that as well. So they have to both be highlighted with the darker blue. And when I do that, I go mix and render to new track. And when I do that, I get this one that I might make a little bit bigger. But I'm going to zoom right out on that. And here I'm just getting a bit of a beat. You can just see that those two frequencies have added together to make something with an envelope that is going up and down. And if I play it, yes. So for that interval where they were both on, we did hear a bit of a beat. And the beat frequency, of course, would have been the difference between the frequency of those two waves.